Part 173. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1721. Chapter 1721. It's okay to keep it around as a toy. Gongzili's expression did not change, and he said in an indifferent voice, "Now that you know everything, why are you calling me to ask me?" "You brat." Mrs. Gong's voice suddenly rose. She was obviously angry. "You actually did such a thing. You, a man, actually touched a woman. This is what I have taught you since you were a child. Tell you, is it okay to bully girls? I invited Ching Ching to my house as a guest. Speaking of which, you are still her brother, so this is how you treat your sister? If your uncle and Aunt Shangguan knew that you were treating Ching Ching like this, do you know what they would think? Why do you do things without considering the consequences at all?" Gongzili had a very indifferent expression on his face. What's wrong with women? Some women just deserve to be spanked. Since Uncle Shangguan and Aunt Shangguan didn't educate their daughters well, then I, as the elder brother, should help educate them. Speaking of which, they should also thank me. You are justified in beating people. When your Uncle Shangguan sent Ching Ching here, I promised to take good care of Ching Ching. But now that something like this has happened, how do you want me to explain to them? They only have one daughter, Ching Ching, who is very precious, but now, my son has taken away the apple of their eye. Mom, one person does the work and the other is responsible. When they ask questions, just leave everything to me and let them come to me. I will give them whatever explanation they want. Also, this is the last time I will tell you with these words, it is impossible for me to marry Shangguan Qing, not even in this life. If you insist on bringing me together with her, I can do even worse things. When the time comes, don't regret it." After Gongzili finished speaking, he wanted to hang up the phone. "What, are you dissatisfied with Ching Ching? The Shangguan family is a perfect match for our Gong family. Qingqing's conditions are excellent in all aspects. The most important thing is that she is devoted to you. Our Gong family needs such a daughter-in-law. Are you still thinking about that girl from the Shen family? Or is it because of the girl named Chiao?" Gongzili was impatient to explain, and was about to hang up the phone when he heard Mrs. Gong mentioning Chiao Mian, and his face suddenly turned cold. "Mom, I don't want to marry Guanqing because I have no interest in her. It has nothing to do with anyone else." "It seems that it's really because of the actress surnamed Chiao." Madame Gong sneered. "When it comes to her, you have such a big reaction. If you are just playing around with that kind of inferior actor, I won't say anything to you. As long as you keep your heart in mind before getting married. But if you have true feelings for an actor, you will bring shame on our family." Gongzili's face became even more gloomy when he heard Mrs. Gong disparaging Chiao Mian like this. "Mom, she is not an unpopular actress. You are also a daughter of a famous family. Do you have to speak so unpleasantly?" He would not tolerate others belittling Chiao Mian. Even if this person is his mother, it won't work. He defended Chiao Mian like this, and Mrs. Gong was even more angry. Her voice was like it was packed with explosives, and she said angrily, "You said that about me because of an actor. It seems that Ching Ching is right, then what a fox. She's just a woman originally, so it's okay if you just treat her as a toy and keep her around." End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1722. Chapter 1722. I will make her pay the price. But now you are so fascinated by her that you don't even know what you are doing. This kind of harmful spirit cannot stay by your side anymore. Mom, what do you want to do? Gongzili exuded a chill. She and I are not the kind of relationship you think. Don't mess around. What am I going to do? Even if you are not with Ching Ching, you cannot be that lowly woman. If she dares to confuse my son, I will make her pay the price. After Mrs. Gong finished speaking, she hung up the phone angrily. Gong Zili had a gloomy face and clenched his fists. Asterisk. Chiao Mian and Zhang Luli finished their meal and just walked out of the hot pot restaurant when they saw the car that came to pick them up parked on the street outside the hot pot restaurant. Mo Yesi drives a black Bentley. The person who came to pick up Zhang Luli was Mo Shixio's black Rolls-Royce. The two of them said goodbye and got into the car. As soon as Zhang Luli got into the car, the driver said to her, "Ms. Zhang, the husband said he has something to do in the evening, so he will come back later so that you don't have to wait for him. If you are sleepy, go to bed first." Zhang Luli nodded, "Yes, I understand." Mo Shixio's job determines that he does not work regularly from 9 to 5, and Zhang Luli is used to him coming home late. After the driver finished explaining, he drove away. The other side. After Chiao Mian got in the car, she found that Mo Yesi was a little different from usual. In the past, when he came to pick her up, he would get off the car and wait for her outside. After she gets in the car, he will help her fasten her seat belt. In today's situation, he would still ask her if she was having fun with Zhang Luli. But today, not only did he remain seated in the car, he also did not react at all after Chiao Mian got in the car. I didn't help her fasten her seat belt like before. He didn't even say a word to her. If Chiao Mian hadn't already confirmed that it was him sitting in the driver's seat, she would have suspected that she had gotten into the wrong car. She had just fastened her seat belt when she heard the sound of the car starting. Chiao Mian. She is now more and more sure that Mo Yesi is definitely not normal. He must have been paying attention to her, but he didn't say a word to her. Chiao Mian thought about it and felt that he should be angry with himself. But why was he angry with her? Chiao Mian thought for a while, and suddenly thought of a possibility. She immediately took out her phone and opened Weibo. As expected, she soon saw her name in the hot search column. Hashtag fallen by the third party by Chiao Mian hashtag. As she had guessed before, she was on the hot search again because of negative news, and even the hot search titles were similar to what she thought. She clicked on the hot search and saw that someone had recorded a video of what happened at that time. The video also includes the scene where Gong Zili was raped by her. After watching the video and reading various comments in the comment area, Chiao Mian probably knew why Mo Yesi was angry. He must have seen that video too. I saw Gong Zili standing up for her and taking her to the hospital. Chiao Mian knows Mo Yesi. He had been concerned about the scandal between her and Gong Zili before. Perhaps after reading today's hot searches, he is even more concerned. The car has been driving out for a few minutes, but the man beside him still hasn't said a word. Chiao Mian thought for a while and decided that she would break the deadlock. She turned her head and was about to speak when the car suddenly stopped. Chiao Mian was stunned, raised her head and glanced ahead, and saw a red light on in front of her. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1723. Chapter 1723. There is only one person he is worried about. The car stopped slowly, and the silent man beside her finally spoke. Although his voice sounded a bit cold, it could be heard that he cared about her. "How is your leg? Is it better now? What did the doctor say?" Chiao Mian turned her head, looked at him and smiled. "You are finally willing to talk to me? Does that mean you are no longer angry with me?" Mo Yesi was stunned and frowned. "Why should I be angry with you?" "Aren't you angry?" Chiao Mian asked. "You didn't say a word to me when I got in the car. You didn't even ask me what I had for dinner. whether I was having a good time today, and you didn't share you with me. What did you do today? Every time I get in the car, you have to help me fasten my seat belt, but you didn't do it just now. You're not angry at all. How can you be considered angry? Oh yesy, since you know I'm angry, do you know why I'm angry? I think I should know. Chiao Mian bit her lips gently and asked in a low voice, did you see my hot searches today? Is it because of Gong Zili? Hearing the name Gong Zili, Mo Yesy's expression changed. Chiao Mian could feel that at this moment, the man's breath suddenly became much colder. So she guessed it right? Are you really angry because of this? Don't be angry. I know you don't like your brother and I having an affair, but at that time I really didn't know that I would meet him in the mall. Lolo said that her eldest brother will have his birthday in a while, and she wanted to choose a birthday gift for him, so I went to the mall with her. Chiao Mian mainly wanted to state that she and Gong Zili only met by chance. She didn't know that she would meet Gong Zili in that shopping mall. That Shang Guanqing misunderstood my relationship with Gong Zili, and Gong Zili helped me out of my friendship with you. Later, because I had a sprain in my ankle and couldn't walk, so Gong Zili sent me to the hospital. That's what happened, not what you see on the news. You know, there is nothing possible between me and Gong Zili. Mo Yesi pursed his lips, his face was solemn, and he said nothing. Of course he knows. He never doubted her. There is only one person he is worried about. Even though he knew that today was a special situation, when he thought of Gong Zili carrying her to the hospital, Mo Yesi couldn't help but want to beat up Gong Zili. That bastard. Mo Yesi watched the video and naturally saw that Gong Zili had not given up on Chiao Mian. You don't really misunderstand me and him, do you? Chiao Mian looked at the man's still gloomy face and said with a headache, it's really just what I said. You know, the media likes to add fuel to the fire. It really has nothing to do with him. You haven't answered the question I just asked. Mo Yesi took a deep breath and suppressed the anger that made him extremely unhappy. He looked at Chiao Mian, how is your foot now? Does it still hurt? He told himself repeatedly in his heart that Chiao Mian was innocent. The person with evil intentions is Gong Zili. He should have known a long time ago that if she is so good, many people will like her. It's just that he didn't expect that among the people who liked her, there would be brothers he had known for many years. If it weren't for the fact that this person was Gong Zili, he would have taken action long ago. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1724. Chapter 1724. No matter how angry he is, he still cares about her. I'm fine. Chiao Mian felt warm in her heart when she saw that even though he was angry, he still cared about her so much. It's just a sprain in my foot. The doctor just fixed it and it'll be fine. Other skin injuries don't matter. She talked about skin injuries, and Mo Yesi noticed that there were several broken skin on her legs. It didn't look serious, but because her skin was fair and tender, even a little scratch would be very obvious. In an instant, the man's face quickly darkened. Shang Guanqing did this for you. Feeling that the breath on his body was getting colder and colder, Chiao Mian said hurriedly, it's just a scratch on the ground when I fell. The doctor said it's just some skin trauma. Apply some plaster and it will heal soon. It doesn't matter. She spoke in an understatement, but Mo Yesi's face became increasingly ugly. He grabbed her hand and looked at it carefully. When he saw the obvious abrasions on her delicate skin, the temperature in his eyes dropped several degrees. Shang Guanqing. He remembered. Looking back, he will ask the Shang Guan family for an explanation. Have you bought the medicine? I bought it. Chiao Mian nodded and took out the plaster bought at the hospital. The doctor said that if you apply it twice a day, all the scratches will be healed in less than a week. Mo Yesi looked at the medicine in her hand without saying anything. When the red light passed, he silently pulled the car to the side of the street and stopped. Under Chiao Mianmian's surprised gaze, he stretched out his hand, "Give me the medicine." Chiao Mianmian was stunned for a moment and handed the medicine to him. Mo Yesi took it, opened a box, and took out a cotton swab. Chiao Mianmian blinked, "What are you going to do?" "Give me your hand." The man opened a tube of medicine expressionlessly, raised his head, and looked at her with no emotion in his dark eyes. Chiao Mianmian. She knew that he was still angry and still worried about the fact that she and Miyazawa were on the hot search. So Chiao Mianmian was very well behaved at times like this, so she obediently handed over her hand. Mo Yesi held her hand, took a cotton swab and dipped it in the medicine, and applied the medicine on the affected areas on her arm one by one. After applying it on his hands, he pulled her leg over and applied it carefully to the scratches on her leg. After making sure that every area was covered with medicine, Mo Yesi pursed his lips and remained silent for a while, then spoke in a cold voice, "Don't touch the water these days. Apart from these scrapes, are you sure there are no injuries on other parts of your body?" "Well, no more." Although the man still had a straight face and a cold tone, and looked like he was still angry, Chiao Mianmian felt particularly warm and sweet in her heart. No matter how angry he is, he still cares about her. The Gong family and the Shangguan family do have plans to marry. During this period, the Gong family and the Shangguan family have cooperated on many projects. Shangguan Qing and Gong Zili are cousins, but they are not blood relatives. So the two families are thinking of getting married. If nothing happens, Gong Zili will marry Shangguan Qing. So, if you don't want to be misunderstood by her, don't have any contact with Gong Zili in the future. After Mo Yesi finished speaking, before Chiao Mianmian could speak, he added, "I'm not saying this because I mind him. If you wait until their marriage is confirmed and you have any scandals with him, it will be harmful to your reputation, not good." End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1725. Chapter 1725. I will help you return this tone. Even if there is nothing between you, if there are too many rumors like this, people who don't know about it will take it seriously. Actually, Mo Yesi was concerned about it. He didn't want Chiao Mianmian and Gong Zili to meet again. He now hopes that the Gong family and the Shangguan family will finalize the marriage immediately. Only by finding a woman and getting married right away can Gong Zili get rid of those unwanted thoughts. Chiao Mianmian did not refute his words. She nodded obediently when he said anything. Anyway, the most urgent task is to coax him well. Looking at her well-behaved look, Mo Yesi's heart had already softened. When he first saw those hot searches, he was indeed very angry. He was not angry with her, but with Gong Zili's audacity. In spite of his warning, she still coveted his woman. In short, even if you see him in the future, say hello and leave. Don't have too much contact with him again. Yes, I understand. Chiao Mianmian nodded obediently. When I see him in the future, I will definitely say hello and leave. I won't say a word to him. Chiao Mianmian herself also felt that she and Gong Zili should keep a distance. Every time I meet him, there will be scandals on the hot searches. The most critical point is what Zhang Luli said to her today. Although Chiao Mianmian felt that it was impossible for Gong Zili to fall in love with her, she was actually not very sure in her heart. Gong Zili is indeed a little weird today. No matter what the reason was for helping her, since there were rumors about their affair and Mo Yesi was very concerned about it, she had to pay attention to it. Anyway, her relationship with Gong Zili is not that good anymore. From now on, just be a nodding acquaintance. Mo Yesi finally had a smile on his face. He stretched out his hand to rub the injured area of her body. The movements of his hands were very light and gentle. Does it still hurt? Chiao Mianmian shook her head. It doesn't hurt anymore. Mo Yesi kneaded her gently, I will go to the Bai family to ask for an explanation. I will help you return this breath. No need, Jiao Mian said immediately after hearing what he said. Actually, Shang Guanqing misunderstood me a little. And she has learned a lesson, so let's end this matter. Jiao Mian didn't know whether the Mahist family and the Shang Guan family cooperated. But the two families should know each other. She doesn't want to affect the relationship between the two families because of her. Shang Guanqing is quite annoying, but Jiao Mian feels that the lessons she received today are enough to relieve her anger. In any case, she will stay away from Gong Zili completely from now on, and the two of them will probably not have any interactions unless there is anything special. She and Shang Guanqing, let alone have any intersection. The best way to deal with this matter is to stop here. Impossible. Mo Yesi narrowed his eyes, with a cold look in his eyes. No matter who it is, it's impossible to just let it go if he touches my woman. Just don't worry about it anymore, I know how to deal with it. Jiao Mian wanted to say something more, but thinking of Mo Yesi's temper, she silently swallowed the words that had reached her lips. Forget it, he can do whatever he wants. If the Shangguan family and the Mahist family cooperated, they would not be easily devastated by such a thing. If the two companies do not cooperate and their friendship is average, then there will be no impact. Moreover, Jiao Mian thought about it again and felt that it was necessary to ask Mo Yesi to go to the Bai family to ask for an explanation. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1726. Chapter 1726. What can you do? Tell me quickly. After Shang Guanqing saw Mo Yesi, it was no longer possible for her to misunderstand that she wanted to seduce Gong Zili. Asterisk. At the Gong family's side. Mrs. Gong was so angry that Gong Zili was so angry that all her self-cultivation and elegance were wiped away. She hung up the phone and the maid just brought a cup of tea. Mrs. Gong took it and in anger, she smashed the teacup and a cup full of hot tea on the ground with a snap. The maid was startled when she saw the broken cup on the ground, and immediately knelt on the ground to clean it up. Shang Guanqing, who was still crying at the side, was also startled, and even stopped crying for a few seconds. Humi Isa, you have charmed my son like this. Because of her, Zili not only talked back to me, but even accused me of being wrong. Madame Gong was so angry that her whole body was shaking. You are just a lowly actor. How dare you act in front of my son, use these methods on yourself. When Shang Guanqing heard Mrs. Gong scolding Jiao Mian, she thought of how Gong Zili defended her in every possible way when she was in the mall today. She gritted her teeth angrily and said, "Auntie, that is really a vixen. I have never seen such a shameless person woman. You were not there at the time, so you didn't see how she flirted with Brother Zili to confuse him. Auntie, such a woman must not stay with Brother Zili, otherwise, she will definitely harm Brother Zili. If it weren't for her, Brother Zili wouldn't have done anything to me. I don't blame Brother Zili for beating me, I only hate that vixen." Shang Guanqing's eyes turned red with hatred when she talked about Jiao Mian. Although it was Gong Zili who beat her, which made her face shameless in front of everyone. However, the person she hated in her heart was Jiao Mian. She felt that if it weren't for Jiao Mian, Gong Zili wouldn't have beaten her. She piled all her hatred on Jiao Mian alone. Originally, when she saw the scandals before, she was only half believing them. But today she saw with her own eyes that Gong Zili was so nervous to defend Jiao Mian, and she no longer had any doubts. She wanted to marry Gong Zili, but now Gong Zili was interested in another woman. Shang Guanqing naturally regarded Jiao Mian as her number one enemy. She resented Jiao Mian even more than she had towards Shenro. Because Qiao Mian is very beautiful. Shang Guanqing had a strong sense of crisis when he saw her for the first time. This is a strong sense of crisis that she has never experienced when facing Shenro. She now wants Qiao Mian to disappear completely from Gong Zili. Good boy, it's rare for you to be so sensible and know that Zili didn't do that to you on purpose. But no matter what, it's wrong for him to hit someone. I will definitely let him apologize to you in person. You are right, that Foxy Zi has had a great influence on Zili, and we must find a way to get her to leave Zili. Auntie, have you thought of any solution now? Mrs. Gong shook her head. Shang Guanqing rolled her eyes. She covered the half of her face that was still swollen. A trace of cruelty flashed in her eyes, and she said bitterly, Auntie, I do have a way. However, I'm afraid that Brother Zili will know about it by then. Will give me trouble for that vixen. Shang Guanqing is still a little afraid of Gong Zili. What can you do? Tell me quickly. Madame Gong was filled with hatred for Qiao Mian at the moment and wanted to get rid of her. She said angrily, this is the first time I have seen Zili so obsessed with a woman. Yes, I can't let my son be destroyed in the hands of a woman. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1727. Chapter 1727. No more cooperation with the Shangguan family. Auntie, this matter is actually easy to handle. As long as we do this. Shang Guanqing approached Mrs. Gong and lowered her voice to tell her plan. Mrs. Gong frowned after hearing this. She hesitated and said, is this good? Is it too cruel? What's so cruel? Shang Guanqing clenched her fists and said harshly, only in this way will Brother Zili completely give up on her. Only then will he cut off all his thoughts. Auntie, you can't be soft-hearted. Nothing can be accomplished by being soft-hearted. Compared with Brother Zili, these are not important. Besides, she is just a little actress, and no one will help her get ahead. Auntie, what else do you have to be afraid of? Mrs. Gong was silent for a few seconds, frowned and said, I'm not afraid. It's just, is this too cruel? I think it's enough to teach her a lesson and make her scared. Just leave Zili by yourself. Auntie, you are just too kind-hearted. Shang Guanqing said coldly, a shameless woman like her must be deliberately trying to stay with Brother Zili. You expect her to leave Brother Zili on her own. This how can it be? If you don't think of a way to deal with her, I'm afraid it will be delayed. When the time comes, it will only be more difficult for you to leave Brother Zili. Mrs. Gong heard something in Shang Guanqing's words and asked, Qing, what do you mean? Shang Guanqing sighed, Auntie, I'm afraid that she will plan to get pregnant with Brother Zili's child. By then, after having a child, Brother Zili will definitely be even more unwilling to separate from her. What if Brother Zili makes a fuss about marrying her home? Auntie, are you really willing to let an actor be your daughter-in-law? Mrs. Gong was stunned for a moment, and the expression on her face became a little solemn. Of course she is unwilling. In a family like the Gong family, if you marry an actor and start your career, you will only be laughed at. Her consistent concept is that with those women outside, her son can do whatever he likes with them. But to start a family and start a career, the wife you bring back home must be a well-matched one. Thinking of this, the palace lady no longer hesitated. Nothing is more important than her son. Asterisk. Back to Lushan Villa. When Qiao Mian went to take a shower, Gong Zili called Wei Zheng. Mr. Mo, it's so late. Is there anything urgent you want to see me for? Wei Zheng's voice over there was a little hoarse, as if he had just woken up. Mo, yes, he had just changed his clothes and came out of the dressing room. He looked at the light on in the bathroom and slowly walked to the floor-to-ceiling window. Have you had any cooperation with Shangguan family recently? Shangguan family, yes, Mr. Mo, half a month ago our company finalized several projects to cooperate with Shangguan family. Is the project already underway? Not so fast yet, we are still finalizing the contract. Contract? That means the contract has not been officially signed yet, Mo Yesi said in a cold voice. All contracts have been stopped. The Mo family will no longer have any cooperation with the Shangguan family in the future. Yes, Mr. Mo, I understand Wei Zheng also saw today's hot searches, so he was not surprised that Mo Yesi would make such a decision. It is true that cancelling the cooperation with the Shangguan family is also a big loss. However, it is only normal for a wife-loving man like Mr. Mo to do such a thing. It would be abnormal if he didn't react at all and continued to cooperate with the Shangguan family. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1728. Chapter 1728. She is still on the hot search. In any case, for Mr. Mo, it is just a loss of money. Compared with the young lady, that little money is nothing. If the cooperation is cancelled, the impact on the Shangguan family will definitely be considerable. The Shangguan family intends to open up the market in Yunqing and focus its future development on Yunqing. The cooperation with the Gong family and the Mo family is very important to the Shangguan family. Mo family is the leader of Yunqing. If there can be a regular cooperation with the Mo family, it means that the Shangguan family can stabilize in Yunqing. This cooperation was negotiated with the Shangguan family for a long time. It's a pity that it was destroyed in the hands of Shangguan Qing. Asterisk. The next day, Qiao Mian woke up and opened her eyes and found that she was still on the hot search. Hashtag Qiao Mian's IOSIN hashtag is a hot search, and it still firmly occupies the third place on the 24-hour list of hot searches. The first place is a discussion about the filming location and guest selection of the next episode of The Meaning of Travel. The second place is the topic of Shenfei going to participate in The Meaning of Travel. The third place is Qiao Mian. Qiao Mian had heard Linda say before that Shenfei might go. She felt a little happy when she saw Shenfei's hot search. She still doesn't know who the guests are going to be this time. If you don't know everyone, you will inevitably feel a little uncomfortable. She and Shenfei didn't actually know each other. But at least she had met her during the interview before, and Shenfei also spoke to her. If Shenfei really wanted to go, Qiao Mian would feel that she was an acquaintance. Better than not knowing them all. As soon as she read the hot search, Linda called and said that the contract was officially finalized and that she would have to discuss some details with her in person. After the two agreed on the place and time, Linda hung up the phone. Qiao Mian also quickly got up to get ready. Asterisk. An hour later, she arrived at the place. She had made an appointment with Linda and followed the waiter outside a private room. She knocked on the door and walked in. When she saw Linda sitting inside, she called out softly, "Sister Xie." "Here we come." Linda greeted her to sit down, took out a document from her bag and handed it to her. "This is the specific contract, please take a look at it again. I have already read it for you. The pay is quite good. There are no problems in other aspects. If you think it's okay, just sign the contract." Qiao Mian sat down and took the contract. She flipped through 2 pages at random. When she saw the pay column, her browsing speed slowed down a lot. She read each word by word, very carefully. After a while, she raised her head. "Sister Xie, I have finished reading it. I have no objection to this contract." With Linda helping her check, Qiao Mian won't worry about the contract being a scam. So she only paid attention to her salary. The salary offered by the program team was 5 million, and Qiao Mian was quite satisfied. The filming only lasted for a month, and since she was still a newcomer, the pay was actually not low. Furthermore, if you can be on such a program, the salary is secondary. Many artists are willing to take the initiative to lower the price to appear on the show. If you can be on a variety show with such a good ratings, even if you get zero pay, many people are willing. Linda nodded, since you don't have any objections, just sign it. If you sign the contract early, I can rest assured. Chiao Mian did not hesitate, took a pen, and signed her name with a swipe. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1729. Chapter 1729. Mr. Mo doesn't have time to see you. After she signed it, she handed the contract back to Linda. Linda took it, looked through it again, and then put the contract away. Tomorrow the official expo will announce the guest list for the next issue, and the filming will officially start in 3 days. You should prepare well in the past few days. Well, sisters, yeah, I understand. By the way, there is one more thing. Linda frowned slightly. I just got the news that the guest this time is Chiao Angzan. You must pay attention when the time comes. Chiao Angzan is going too. Chiao Mian looked at Linda in surprise. Linda nodded. She followed Quan Dong. If Quan Dong is willing to support her, there is no problem in getting a quota. Linda was afraid that Chiao Mian would suffer, so she warned her again. Anyway, you have to be more careful when the time comes. I'm afraid she will be uneasy. She has always hated you. When I was still following her, every time she talked about you she looks like she hates you deeply. Now, I'm afraid she hates you even more. Now Chiao Mian's career and love are all going smoothly. As for Chiao Angzan, it was like falling into a trough. Under such circumstances, she would only grow more and more resentment towards Chiao Mian in her heart. I'm afraid that if she finds an opportunity, she will do evil in secret. The filming lasted for 1 month. During this month, the participating guests got along almost day and night. If Chiao Angzan really wanted to do something bad, she would find an opportunity. No matter how worried Linda was, she could only remind her to take more precautions. Sisters, yeah, I will pay attention. And about your hot search, Linda frowned slightly. Yesterday the company dispatched the public relations department to remove all hot searches and related topics for you, but today your hot search is still on the list. I asked the public relations department and they said there was someone behind the scenes. Less than an hour after the hot search was removed, you were immediately added to it. Who do you think hates you so much and wants to spend a lot of money to do it? Hack you. Chiao Angzan, Shenro. But Chiao Angzan doesn't have much money in hand right now, so she shouldn't be able to spend so much money to do these things. If it were Shenro, the Shen family's current economic situation is not optimistic, and her possibilities are also not very big. Tell me, could it be that Shang Guansheng? Linda looked at Chiao Mian's reaction and said, if it were her, I'm afraid the company wouldn't be able to handle it. I think you still have to ask Mr. Mo to help you solve this matter. It has been on the hot search, it's not good for your reputation. You are going to participate in the meaning of travel soon. This matter must be resolved before the guest list is officially announced. Otherwise, it will have a bad impact on you. Asterisk. The other side. Mo Yesi suddenly cancelled the cooperation with the Shangguan family. This naturally made the Shangguan family puzzled. They also attached great importance to this matter and hurriedly found someone to go to the Mo family to ask what was going on. The person sent there was Shangguan, who was special assistant named Suji. Suji walked into Mo's company to inquire and asked the front desk to help inform. After a while, the front desk informed, Mr. Su, Assistant Wei just said that no one from the Hung Yuan group will have to come to Mr. Mo anymore. Mr. Mo doesn't have time to see him. You. After hearing this, Suji showed a surprised expression on his face. Why? I came here this time to discuss several previous contracts with Mr. Mo Hongyuan Group, and Mr. Mo have already negotiated several contracts. Originally, everything went smoothly, and the two families talked happily. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1730. Chapter 1730, Doing This to My Baby Girl. But Mo Corporation suddenly cancelled its cooperation with Hongyuan Group. Our chairman wanted to know the reason for the cancellation, so he sent me here to understand the situation. You can convey these words to me again. No need. Although the front desk lady looked at him with a smile, her tone was firm. Mr. Su, what Assistant Wei means is what President Mo means. You'd better go back and don't embarrass us. Suji frowned. He stood at the front desk for a while, then reluctantly turned around and left. Asterisk. After returning, Suji told Shangwenhua exactly what the receptionist said. Chairman, I have already said that I am here to cancel the contract. But Mr. Mo still doesn't want to see anyone. Shang Guanhua, that is, Shang Guanqing's father, is a man in his 40s and looks very masculine. After listening to Suji's report, he frowned. Okay, Mo suddenly cancelled the cooperation. Is this the same attitude? Could it be that Mo found a better partner, so he regretted the negotiation with Hongyuan Group? Project. Chairman, Mr. Mo should not be such a dishonest person, and I have also inquired. Mr. Mo did not cancel this cooperation because he had other partners. Shang Guanhua frowned even more. Besides this reason, what else can be the reason for canceling the cooperation? This cooperation is very important, and we can't just cancel it. I have to find out the reason for the cancellation. You can change my schedule for the afternoon. I want to go to Mo's family in person. Suji was stunned for a moment, and then immediately said, Yes, Chairman, I will change it right away. Chairman, there is one more thing. Suji looked at Shangwenhua, who was sitting on the black leather chair, with an expression on his face that he was hesitant to speak. A good cooperation was suddenly cancelled, and it was still a very important cooperation. Shangwenhua was not in a good mood, and his tone was a little impatient. What else is there? Suji looked at his face and said after careful consideration, Chairman, I saw that Miss was on the entertainment news last night. Ching Ching is in the entertainment news. Shangwenhua has a daughter, Shangwenking, who is naturally very precious. She immediately asked with concern, What's going on? This. Suji looked like he was hesitating to speak again, as if he had something unspeakable to say. Shangwenhua saw that he was so hesitant and lost his patience. He said a little angrily, What happened? Did something happen to Ching Ching? That's not true. Suji was angry when he saw Shang Guanhua, and immediately replied, It seems that the young lady and the young master Gong had some conflicts over a woman. The young lady Gong was very angry with that woman, and the young lady suffered some grievances. As Suji spoke, he took out his mobile phone and pulled out the news. Then he handed it to Shang Guanhua with both hands. He said respectfully, Chairman, this is the news I saw. Someone also took a video and put it in the news. Shang Guanhua's face turned ugly when he heard that his precious daughter had been wronged. He took the phone, and after watching the news and videos, his face became as dark as the bottom of a pot. With a bang, he smashed the phone on the table. Hateful, he said angrily, that from the Gong family did this to my precious daughter. Ching Ching has never suffered any grievances from her mother and me since she was a child. Let alone beating her, he just scolded us. I can't bear to scold him either. End of this chapter.